Craft is definitely an art form, yeah. Oh, I didn't see you there. Hi, I'm Rosanna from Woodfield So What Sessions. We actually have a session coming up this Saturday from 2 till 4 and I would love to see you there. All the details are on the Facebook event page, which you can find linked in our bio. Alternatively, just send us a message and I will give you all the details. So I'd love to have you. Lots of you will know, as our followers, that we have started our own live cook along every Friday on Instagram Live. And as a creative person, as a crafty person that does embroidery, I'm thinking of doing a similar sewing crafty live series, like a sew along, stitch along, craft along, something like that. So I'm thinking about doing something like that. If you like that idea, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any suggestions or you want to get involved, excellent. Comment below, message us. Alternatively, you can message me directly. I'm at rosanna.mcnamara on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. And I'm going to use this video as a little trial, a little tester of that. So I'm going to go through a basic introduction to embroidery. I'm going to show the starter materials you'll need and go through mounting an embroidery hoop. So let me know how you get on. I'd love to see your photos of your mounted embroidery hoops and I will see you on the flip side. And here I have my basic embroidery materials. I've got my hoop, my needle, my fabric and my thread. You will also need scissors to cut the thread, and I have also included a pencil in case you want to do any designing on your fabric, or maybe on a piece of paper first and then you trace it onto your fabric. But I'm not going to need those today, so I'm going to take those away. I'm also not even going to need my thread and my needle today, because what we're going to go through is how to mount an embroidery hoop as the initial step. So I'm going to take away my thread and my needle as well. So I've got my hoop and my fabric. My fabric is calico, but you can use cotton or linen. Basically anything without a stretch is needed for hoop embroidery, and that's because the hoop is going to stretch out that fabric and keep it nice and taut, so when you're sewing the fabric doesn't end up puckering or buckling, so you get a really nice flat smooth surface to embroider onto. So I'm using calico because it's cheap and easy to get hold of. This is just the basic colour, sort of off-white creamy colour. It's got a nice thickness to it, but it's not as, the weave isn't as wide as a cross-stitch fabric, for example. Cross-stitch fabric is different to embroidery. So I've got my fabric and I've got my hoop. This is a 4-inch hoop, so it's quite small, as you can see on my hand there. So it's quite small for the purposes of this demonstration. It is wood. You can get wooden and plastic hoops. Wood is more common, I would say, and I prefer wooden ones. They are made out of 2 separate rings. There's an inner ring and an outer ring. As you'll see on the outer ring, it has this tightening mechanism at the top, and that squeezes these 2 hoops together with the fabric in the middle. So you just tighten it like that. So what you do to mount the hoop is that you put the inner ring under the fabric that you want and center it as much as you can. You can see that there's a nice border around the hoop, and that's because you want to make sure you have enough extra fabric to pull through and to tighten the fabric as you go. If you cut literally the amount of fabric for the hoop, that's not going to work, because you need to be able to pull the fabric through the hoop. So I've got a nice 2-3 inches, actually, a nice border around there. You can have it a bit smaller if necessary, but To show you, I'm just going to use quite a large bit of fabric for my hoop. Then you put the outer ring on top there. It sort of looks like the top of a jam jar or something. And then you want to just pick it up, squeeze it into place, and you want to start tightening that mechanism at the top. And as you're tightening, you want to pull the fabric through the rings. How I find it easiest to do is I turn it upside down on a flat surface and I pull through like that all the way around. So you just turn it and pull, turn it and pull. And that means that the rings, if you're pulling like this, some people find that the rings pop off. So if you're sort of holding it down like this, it means that those rings aren't gonna come loose or undone. So there we go. So I'm pulling and I'm tightening and I'm pulling. And if you look closely at the weave of the fabric, you can see, you might not be able to see on this video, but you'll be able to see where the fabric's been pulled more on other sides than others, because it might have this little curve or wave to it. So you want to get that as straight as possible, then you know it's taut equally on all sides. There we go. And it should sound like a drum. This is a small hoop, so it's got quite a high-pitched sound to it. Bigger ones have a deeper sound. There we are, that's nice and tight. And as you are sewing, the fabric will naturally become loose, because as you're pulling the needle through the fabric, it's going to pull like this and it's going to loosen. So you need to make sure that you tighten that hoop and that fabric whilst you're doing your design, so it doesn't become loose. And that means that the design won't pucker and the fabric won't pucker anywhere or pull, so you'll get a nice flat design like that. Well, that's it. We mounted a hoop. Here it is. We've done it. Job well done. If you liked this video and you want to see more, I can go through threading a needle and various different stitches, and we can progress upwards like that. I want this to be as accessible but also fun as possible. So yeah, let me know what you thought of this video, if you'd like to see more, to do a live stitch along with me. I'm obviously recording this because I'm too nervous to do it live at the moment, so let me know, and I hope to see lots of you at So What on Saturday.